is saltiness isn't bliss, and right now it is a chilly spring night outside, so what better way to warm up than with a pot of homemade vegetable soup. So I'm going to start with my veggies. I keep it pretty simple. So this is the part where you can customize it to whatever vegetables you love or just have in the house if you don't want to run out and have to get some, or if you grow your own. So I am going with broccoli, 1 long carrot that I have peeled and cut up, and 1 potato that I have peeled and cut up. So I'm going to pour all of that into a small pot of water. And I'm going to turn that burner on high. So I'm going to pre-cook my veggies. The reason I do this is just to simplify it once it goes in the pot and becomes my soup, so that my veggies are not real crunchy and crisp and raw. So I don't cook them all the way. I don't cook them so they're mushy. I just get that crisp rawness out of them. So then when they're in my soup, all I'm really doing is simmering all my flavors together. Rather than have to cook my veggies. So you can do it whichever way works for you. You can pre-cook them in the water or just cook them in the pot with the soup. Either one works. So I'm going to put the lid on that, and I'm going to move over to this pot. So I'm going to prep this pot, get my base of my soup all ready, so when my veggies are done cooking, I can put them right in the soup. So I start with a can of tomato soup. The great thing about just a regular standard tomato is that the sodium content is a little bit lower on this. So this one is not real high salt content. All right, so we've just put 1 10 3/4 ounce can of tomato soup in the pot. To that, I'm going to add a reduced sodium chicken broth, and I'm just gonna put a can's worth. So it's just easier to measure it this way. Directly into the soup that's already in the pot. And to that, I'm going to also add a can's worth of water. Go. And then I'm just going to use my spoon. You can also use a whisk if you prefer. Okay, so I'm just going to whisk those 3 together. When you lift your whisk up and you don't see any chunks in there, that's how you know that's all blended nice and smooth. And now we're going to add all our delicious seasoning that will help bring our soup to life. So I'm going to start with a cracked rainbow peppercorn. Any pepper will work. And all your seasonings are going to be to taste. So however spicy or peppery you want your soup will be as much pepper as you're going to put in there. I will leave approximate measurements down below just in case you want that as a guideline. So there's that. Next up is dried parsley flakes. You can always go with fresh parsley. Some crushed rosemary, fresh works as well. Dried oregano. And last but not least, I have 1 garlic clove that I am going to mince. Alright, so here is our soup with all our seasoning added but not mixed in yet. So I'm just going to use my spoon, go in circles here, and get that seasoning blended in as best I can. And then I'm just going to let this sit while my veggies continue to cook. And then once my veggies are ready and I pop them in, that's when I will heat up this soup and blend all that together in a nice gentle simmer. Okay guys, our veggies are all cooked up. So, whoops. Cooked up and jumping out of the pot, and you missed one heck of a blooper a moment ago. I went to drain the water out of the pot, lid flew off, water went everywhere. Luckily, I didn't lose any of my veggies. Did lose a lot of water, and of course the dog just wanted to lick it all up. So anyway, back to the soup. So now I am going to put all of my cooked veggies directly into my pot of my prepared soup base. I am going to give that a real nice mix and a stir. And I'm going to turn my burner on to high. So I don't want a crazy boil going the whole time, but I would like to get a little gentle boil and a little rumble in the pot there at the beginning, which will help to kind of blend all those flavors. So at this point, the goal is just to simmer and blend our soup. So we have just a nice, warm, hot, tasty bowl for dinner. So I will probably simmer that for about 10 to 15 minutes once I get that gentle boil going. So again, burner's on high. I'm going to cover it. As soon as I notice it starts to boil, I will turn the burner down and just let that simmer for 10 to 15 minutes. And that's it. It'll be ready, and I'll see you then. So dinner is done and ready, so I am going to scoop some of my veggie soup into a bowl. Take a look at that, guys. You can see all those seasonings coming up to the surface there. Put a little too much in there, take a little out. And then to pair with my vegetable soup, I've got a homemade with love grilled cheese here. So my reduced sodium tip to you, if you love grilled cheese, is on the outside of the bread. You can always brush an unsalted butter, and then I just put a little bit of cracked peppercorn on top of that, and then inside I just go with Swiss cheese, because Swiss is a low sodium cheese. So there it is. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.